I'm the Victorian Commissioner representing the Government of Victoria, Australia, and I live here in Bangalore. Now, I have a very close relationship with school education. Currently, I have 3 teenage children. So one has just completed school, one is in an arts specialist school in Australia, and one is up here with me in an international school here. So I do have a genuine international perspective on schooling. I've also just come, in taking up this role, I left a board role on the major provider of music education into Australian schools. So I also have a very personal interest in holistic education and particularly regional access. So I'm really pleased to bring a bit of an international insight and to talk a little bit about Victoria's relationship with India and education. So often as a foreign provider, we're very well known for our tertiary activities. And we're very proud in Victoria that we're home to about 50,000 Indian students each year. That's double the next state in terms of population. So the Indian students in Victoria are a very important part of our social fabric. We were talking outside about our role in attracting those students, and as we look at a 20-year relationship at tertiary level, the focus now for a state like ours is not just to bring students in, it's to bring in the very best students, and it's to make sure that the relationship that they have is deep and that they come home with the relationships that will ensure that we have long-term business relationships. One of the challenges for us right now as well is also ensuring that we're getting diversity in our international studies, that we're moving them just beyond engineering and IT. I should also mention that in Victoria, Indians are our fastest growing and largest diaspora group. If we look at the stats, and I think we've got about 150,000 people of Indian descent in Victoria, which in a state of 6 million people is quite a strong cohort. But given that those people are quite young, my estimation is that probably there are 2 Indian kids in every Victorian classroom right now. So that is really bringing quite a significant international flavour to our classrooms, and we're very keen that we nurture those relationships. So in terms of that, Victorian government's actually very actively committed to deepening those relationships. We've already got some sister school relationships with Indian schools, particularly primary school level. We're trying to increase awareness of Hindu language in Australia, and also to grow activities like yoga and awareness around that regard. But in particular, one of the really exciting programs that we're involved with right now is growing relationships between female school principals from Victorian schools and from Indian schools. So we're going to have a first cohort of, I think, 12 Victorian school principals coming up to India, to Delhi in November, as part of our Victorian Women Leaders in Schools program, and we look forward to welcoming the others in return. The other thing that we're doing here in India is working with schools and with universities more on study tour and to give them an experience of what an Australian education might be before they commit and their families commit to that in the longer term. But within schools also, the nature of a community like Australia is that we're a small population in a very big country, so we've been very good at some of the technologies and we're very good on adaptivity around those. So we've got some great commercial providers already here in India impacting the school system, and we're keen to grow those as well. So, for example, ASA, which is the leading research organisation for Australia based out of Victoria, is offering advice on testing and test results, and also sharing our education data and processes. We've got a company called E2, which is one of the leading companies in preparing young people online for the likes of Cambridge and TESOL testing. A lovely company, Kids Unlimited, which is in-school tutoring using the analytics skills based on chess. And I think that's a very attractive proposition for particularly Indian parents. So that's going very well. And of course, one of our leading providers is Global Education Services, and our dear friend Raquel Schroff, who's here with me today. I've had the great pleasure to be in Chennai with her as she's presented programs through their My Kensho application on life skills and career choices. I'm just enjoying watching Global Education Services go from strength to strength and impacting hundreds and hundreds of schools and children in India. So from that perspective, as I said, you might know us as a provider of tertiary education, but we're very keen to be part of the entire journey with you. I'm expecting we will have about 10 providers in the EdTech space up here for DIDAC in September. So I was delighted to read the Eldrok information on that EdTech industry and how significant it is. So I wish you all the best for today's conference. I'm going to be back here this afternoon, so very keen to hear about those outcomes and where we might be able to provide you some international perspective and cooperation also. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thanks for your kind words. I would request Mr. Ram, President from Bhagirathi Connected and Shared Mobility India, to come over stage and felicitate Ms. Michelle. Michelle, ma'am, please can we have you on stage? Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.